What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome inside to the StreamYard Studios, back with another interview. I am so very excited because we have today Miss Samantha Schell, who will be getting a chance to join me here later on. And of course, if you guys missed out on Sydney's interview earlier, make sure you guys head on over to the YouTube channel right now. Make sure to guys to subscribe, like, and comment on this video right now. And of course, before we have Samantha get a chance to join us, if you guys want to get a chance to follow her, I encourage you guys make sure to do so at Wolf's Queen MMA. Make sure you guys get a chance to follow this incredible fighter. She does a little bit of jiu-jitsu. She's currently a brown belt, and of course, follow this incredible fighter who we'll get a chance to talk to as far as her days of becoming a pro, of becoming an amateur, to working her way up to the pro days as she's currently in right now. And of course, I do want to send a shout out to Mom's Basement MMA, Liz with the Z Podcast, Fight Bananas Officials, and Air Medium Productions for doing so incredible on what they're doing today. It's very unique and it's very awesome. So I encourage you guys to make sure to follow my friends and support with what they're doing today. Now, I will say this, that we have some more interviews coming up next week. Next week, we have a huge amount of list of interviews that we get a chance to do. I'm very excited. I'm very excited, and I'm just really grateful to be able the fact that we get a chance to be able to do these interviews. It's just tremendous. It's awesome, and it's very incredible. So I'm really thankful for all these incredible fighters to allow me to get a chance to interview them. We'll have some more interviews to come. Definitely have some more news, but yet I'm not going to be able to tell y'all until later on. But without further ado, please help me welcome in a woman who just got married, a woman who's doing incredible things right now in the fighting world. Please help me welcome Miss Samantha Schell. Oh, botched that. My apologies there. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Perfectly. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I mean, it seems like you've been busy as of late. You just got married. Congratulations.
Thank you.
No problem. And of course, you've been doing a lot of incredible stuff. So let's go ahead and get things started. Before we do, make sure you guys get a chance to follow Samantha at Wolf's Queen MMA because she was an incredible fighter, a tremendous fighter. So I'm glad to get a chance to have you on here. So let's go ahead and get things started. So we all have an inspiration with what we're doing today, whether if it's interviews or fighting, whatever it may be. What inspired you to start fighting?
I always wanted to fight. I grew up in Miami and I kind of got into a bunch of fights in school, but I didn't know how to fight. I was just loudmouthed and aggressive. And then I went to college. I did the whole college thing. I excelled in school and I did really well. So I just automatically assumed those were my next steps, but it never fulfilled me. I wasn't super happy. I got 2 degrees in criminology and psychology, and I really don't use them because I graduated on a Friday and from FSU, and then I immediately started training that following Monday, and I just kind of never looked back.
And it pretty much seems like that fighting's in your blood, so to speak. I mean, especially with how you just started. So I mean, you pretty much say that you was meant to fight, right?
Yeah, my brother had started jujitsu about a year and a half before I did. I'm actually a triplet, so I'm really close with my brothers, but he never wanted to fight. He's like a lover, not a fighter. He just enjoyed the sport, but never wanted to compete. And I was the one that wanted to do all the competitions. So I found out he was training, and I was like, as soon as I graduate, I'm coming up there and I'm training.
And you definitely showed that, especially with how much you're doing right now. So you're currently training right now up at Shield Shock. Hopefully I said that right. Shield
Yeah,
Shock.
still shock BJJ.
Yeah, Shield Shock BJJ, and pretty much like all the camps, all training camps have become a family to adult fighter. How much of a family have they been to you?
So it's funny that you say that because I actually have a tattoo on my shin from our gym motto, which is "Not all family is blood." Um, I couldn't do it without like my teammates are amazing and they support me when I have to travel elsewhere to get like a certain MMA training in. There's not like a plethora of female fighters in the area. There's some that I can meet up with, but I've gone out to like Louisiana to train with Andrea Lee, she's flyweight in the UFC. I trained with Hannah Cipher, strawweight in the UFC. She's only about an hour from me, so that's a little bit easier. And then I'll travel to like South Carolina and just wherever I can to get training in, and they support me the whole time.
It seems like that you go through a lot of different training camps to prepare you for whatever's yet to come, right?
Yeah, I'm actually getting ready to leave for PANS in Florida next week. It's a really big IBJJF tournament, trying to like solidify our rankings. And I think we have like 7 people from my gym going there. So everybody's been kind of gearing up with our gi training, getting ready for that.
Well, we definitely do wish you the best of luck on that because I know that's really exciting, and I hope we get a chance to talk to you about that here later on. So, we all deal with perks of training, the easiest part, and of course the toughest part. What has been the toughest part of training in your own opinion?
So it used to be, just like the mental fortitude because you'd feel so like run down and beat up all the time. But I got that down pretty well. Like I enjoy like the hard work. I enjoy the weight cuts and like feeling disciplined. The hardest part for me personally is dealing with like nagging injuries that like sideline me. I hate, not being able to perform like the way that I need to because I have to take care of some stuff.
It seems like anytime if you always have an injury, it's like you're either in crunches or have a sling, and it's like you hate being on the sidelines. You hate being on the sidelines.
Yeah, when it's like comes to superficial stuff, I've split my head open and like sewed it with a needle on the mats, like in the middle of training. I don't mind stuff like that. It's like the ligament stuff and like the joint and cartilage stuff that it's just there's nothing to do except PT and rest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you talked about you handled the mental game very well. I mean, how did you handle that? Because it seems like everyone has their own way of handling the mental stuff, whatever it may be. So how did you handle it?
I didn't used to handle it really well. It used to get to me a lot. Like obviously the older you get, the wiser you get, the more experience with stuff like that. It helped having a really good coach, a really good partner in life who would kind of bring me back down to reality. I write for several publications. I have my weekly blog. I write for Jujitera magazine, and my blog is wolfqueenmma.com. And I started it really just like as like a cathartic release, and it was almost like my form of therapy, but it ended up taking off and now I'm able to like get different jobs off of that, but that helps get my thoughts out. And then I spend a lot of time in the kitchen too because I really like to cook, and it kind of just helps like bring me back down from the high amplitude of all my training.
Yeah. So you talked about how much you love to cook. Is there any certain thing you love to cook?
I got really good at bread and I love carbs. So making bread is really fun for me. And then I kind of have a little bit of an artsy side when it comes to making different desserts. So that's fun. My brother is actually a professional artist and he's amazing. And I think the only type of art I got is when it comes to food.
Absolutely. So, I want to get a chance to get back to the mental game because it seems like that it seemed to work out very well with how you're handling it. If there was any advice you had to give to a fighter or to someone who is currently battling mentally, what was the one thing you want to tell them?
To take time to do some self care. Like you are not going to be your best if you are forcing yourself into the gym every single day when you are just like mentally beat. You need to take a little bit of time to like rest and recover. Do the things that take you away from fighting and that bring you some joy. Like don't miss out on those family moments and doing things that aren't necessarily related to fighting because the better you are mentally, the better you'll be in the gym and in the cage.
You're very, very right, my friend. You're very, very right on that. So, we all have some things that encourage us to be able to get out of bed and go train, go cook, whatever it may be. So, what is the biggest encouragement that you are currently doing today?
To kind of like motivate me to keep training. Um, Well, definitely my new husband. Like we've been together for 5.5 years now. If you're not with somebody who supports you, like I see it all the time. Whether it's guys or girls, they have like a partner who doesn't come watch them compete or doesn't come to their events or even just like say how proud they are of them. It helps a lot because it makes me feel like, okay, I am doing the right things and like people do support me.
And I want to get a chance to talk about the grizzly bear himself, John. I mean, I got a chance to talk to you. I want to get a chance to ask you, how much has he meant to you, and especially the fact that your relationship has been so incredible. 5 years from what you just said, and not only do you guys help each other out training, but you guys find a way to be able to communicate so many ways. I mean, talk about your relationship with him.
I definitely think that communication is like the founding basis of our relationship. And we were talking about, that whole first year just spent getting to know each other. And then several years after that, like we didn't rush into any sort of lifelong commitment. So it just felt right when it was, when he did propose a year ago. And then when we got married this past weekend, and, we had so many like badass black belts in attendance and a bunch of fighters. That was really cool to see. But, when you find that right person who like supports you, and is there they like elevate you. You could be on your own and do great on your own, but when you find somebody who helps elevate you and like makes you that much better, like there's nothing I would trade for that in the whole world.
And that is so beautiful. And once again, if you guys want to get a chance to check out all the footage, everything that happened from the wedding, make sure you guys follow her on Instagram because it is something very beautiful to see. And I'm very happy to see you being happy.
Yeah, it'll be like a lot of clips of me crying, I'm sure.
I will say, what made you cry up there with him? I mean, did he say something that made you cry?
Yeah, so I'm a happy crier. Like I cry at happy stuff all the time, and everybody thinks that's funny because I'm so like, I'm always in the gym. I'm like ripped with muscles, and I'm always like acting like I'm so tough. But happy stuff will always make me cry. And there was like a few things, having my triplet brothers there, they were so proud of me. That was really cool. And then he surprised me like at the last second with handwritten vows that he did, and that definitely got me. I was trying really hard to hold it together. And then, when he teared up, I really teared up, and it was just like such a beautiful event.
And it goes to show that all warriors are not afraid to cry. I mean, you can't tell a warrior that they don't that they're tough and everything because they always have a soft side that's in them.
Yeah, crying's beautiful, especially when it's like such a happy occasion.
Exactly, exactly. So yeah, you're currently a brown belt. I mean, you've worked so hard to be able to get to where you are today. Do you ever just look back on the journey that you started from, especially with how much you've overcome?
Yeah, all the time. Like nowadays with social media, you get these like reminders of things that happened like several years ago into the day. Our photographers from the wedding, it actually came up that 5 years ago they were photographing me as a four-stripe blue belt at a different event. Everybody involved with the wedding we had like met through jujitsu and MMA, from like the caterers to the DJ to the photographers. So I see stuff like that. John and I met at a Hoist Gracie seminar when we got partnered up together. So pretty much everything in my life is because I started this martial arts journey. Like I wouldn't have the career and job opportunities I have. I wouldn't have my husband. I just wouldn't be living like the life that I'm living.
Absolutely, and it goes to show that fighting can not only get a chance to help you make friendships, but can help you find loved ones as well.
Definitely.
All right, so pretty much, I want to get a chance to look back on, how far you started. I mean, we're going to talk about your amateur career, and what was supposed to be 6-4. I mean, you have worked so hard, and explain to me what happened that did not allow you to get to 6-4, but you ended up ending it in a 5-4 career.
Yeah, I think it was the first title I had ever won. There was an issue with getting like the blood work into the commission in time. So I think it showed up like 2 hours after the fight, but because the fight had already taken place, it didn't like count towards the record. But I ended up winning that fight in the first round with a rear naked choke, and it was like a setup that we had worked that whole entire previous week. And that fight meant a lot to me because I had fought that opponent, Sydney Smith, before. She was my third fight ever, and I ended up losing a decision because I just wasn't prepared. I was training at a different gym. I train under a different gym now, and they were a good gym. They just had different viewpoints when it came to competition. So she, I guess, in her head was thinking it was going to be like a complete slaughter. I changed my game up. We worked a lot of my wrestling because she was so much taller than me. So we took it to the ground, and it basically went exactly how we had trained for. So I think it was under 2 minutes I finished that fight, and it was, definitely a surprise. So that fight meant a lot to me. So I'm always like upset that it didn't technically count towards my official record, but at least I have the memories of it.
I mean, at least you got the memories of it now. And one thing I want to get a chance to ask you, it seems like the ground game has always been your best friend. It seems like you always find a way to be able to execute these submissions and whatnot. I mean, has that always been the best part when it comes to what you're doing today? I mean, everyone prefers the standing, everyone prefers this or prefer that. Do you always prefer to try to go down to the ground game?
So I'm such a lover of MMA. I compete a lot in jujitsu because there's so many frequent tournaments. And I do a lot of striking and a lot of stand up like throughout the weeks. And I've done a few kickboxing fights as well. But MMA just incorporates everything together. So I feel like there's a lot more opportunities for me to be able to execute my skills. I get into, MMA jujitsu is much different than just regular jujitsu. Same with like self defense and things like that. And I really enjoy wrestling, like you can probably tell from my ears. So being able to like execute a good takedown off of good strikes so that I can get to the ground game. And, if I'm on the ground, it's kind of like home to me. I'm very comfortable with jujitsu.
It definitely seems like it has been your home away from home, that's for sure. And of course, I want to get a chance to talk to you about you becoming a pro. So, what made the call? I mean, how did it all this happen?
So I'd been working towards it for quite some time, but I always trusted my coaches. John, my husband's my main jujitsu coach, and then Josh Robinson is a black belt in Muay Thai. He's also a black belt in jujitsu, had a ton of pro fights. So I always listened to their guidance. And then getting ready for the first fight, there was some stuff that I could have worked on. It's I always try to make it, even in jujitsu, I'm difficult to like finish. It'll always end up being like points or decision if I have to take that loss. And I ended up losing that one on decision. And then I switched up my training, turned it back around. I got a call from Invicta with 2 weeks' notice that they needed another atom weight on their tournament schedule. So I had to drop like 18 pounds in 15 days. And I knew I could do it. I'm very disciplined. So I was able to do that. And that was a whole mess too, because with the COVID protocols, I could only take one coach with me. And it was such short notice. Everybody was like out of town. And I had to like do all my weight cutting at the hotel. But I was able to do that and I was able to win that fight. And I was like, yes, I'm meant to be here. And then I had a second fight and I fought for a promotion in Kansas City, which was a great promotion. And that was another one that I unfortunately lost a decision to, but it was a really good fight. And there was some stuff that I take away from there. I got to try and get like one highlight clip because she threw like an amazing flying knee that landed beautifully that I was able to turn into a takedown just because I'm super resilient and you will have to drag me out of that cage before I ever stop.
Well, if you do ever get that highlight, make sure you send it to me because I'll gladly get a chance to share that moment because it seems like that was really awesome. And it seems like, you're enjoying your time being a fighter. You're enjoying your time, doing all these tournaments. And I love to see that. But it comes to a fighter who, doesn't care if it's one thing or another. They're just prepared for anything. That's one thing I love about you is that you are prepared for anything.
Yeah, I'm trying to, I always train as consistently as possible so that if I ever do get a call like that where it's a good opportunity, and I have Pans coming out next week. At the end of the month, I'm competing for charity. It's called Toro Cup, and that'll be streamed on Flow Grappling. So I'm really excited to do that. That's a no gi super fight. Pans is in the gi, so I try and like vary it up as much as possible. And I'm still amping up all of my MMA training right now, seeing how like my body holds up from previous injuries so that I could start getting back into the cage as well.
And we definitely look forward to getting back to the cage. So, there's always one thing I know about this is that there's always been the easy obstacles, but then there's been the toughest obstacles. What has been some of the most toughest and challenging obstacles that you have faced during your fighting career?
So one that's completely related to fighting and one that's not related to fighting. So the thing that's not related to fighting that's the hardest for me is when I got into this relationship, my husband, he had 2 kids, and I was finding myself like struggling to balance kind of a step parenting role. I don't care what anybody says. Parenting is hard. I was never that person that was like wanting kids one day. And I was always afraid I was messing up. And I just wanted to like do my best to show that I love them without overstepping too much. It's something I still struggle with to this day. And then the thing that I struggle with when it comes to fighting is like I just have knees that suck from years of playing soccer down in Miami. So I'm always working and rehabbing and trying to get that right because I love fighting. Like even I love training. Back in the day I used to dread it because it's so taxing on like the mind and body. And now I
Mhm.
just look forward to it. I'm just like, okay, like let my knees hold up so that I can keep doing this.
You ever just have that moment where you just look at your knees and like, why did I use these for shots for soccer again? Why did I do what I did?
Oh, I'm so mad I played soccer. I'm so mad.
It's just like, like don't get me wrong, like soccer can help you out as far as the kicking, but when it comes to everything that you've done, that definitely wears and tears on you today.
Yeah, I like fighting so much more.
Oh man, if there was ever a time we could just look back on and think about what we did, we could. That's for sure.
I got red carded all the time anyway. Like I was always fighting on the field.
That explains why you're the fighter today because if you're getting too many red cards, I mean soccer's just not meant for you. Then hey, just give me my MMA gloves and I'm good to go.
Exactly.
Well, Joe, I got to get a chance to tell you is that, we are looking forward to so many incredible things. And before we get a chance to ask you about the wedding, and of course, we get a chance to ask about what's next for you, I want to go ahead and tell you it's definitely been an honor to get a chance to interview such an incredible fighter, a fighter with so much knowledge, with so much courage, and of course, so much with strength. I mean, for someone who understands the mental game, and I always tell people that you the fighters inspire people like us, people that go through anxiety, depression, self harm, whatever it may be, because you show how hard you work, whether if it's in the cage or out of the cage. And I can honestly tell you, I am very proud of you, and yet I know great things are going to be coming your way.
Yeah, my coach, he talks about that all the time. My husband, he talks about how we're all dealing with like, these anxiety and thoughts of depression and things like that. And people struggle with getting ready to compete. And he says, everybody has different ways of dealing with it. But if you find the way that works, like just getting out there, I am big on mental health. I have my tattoo. I don't know if you guys can see it, that with the semicolon and
Hey,
heart.
let me remove hang on, let me remove the names, and then you can get a chance. There it is. Go ahead and
There
show
it
it.
is. So this tattoo, it says warrior. It has the heart and the semicolon because I'm really big on like advocating for people to,
Yeah.
benefit their mental health and do things that they need to do.
Well, I'm also a very huge believer and, of course, supporter when it comes to suicide awareness. That I actually have this up on my wall,
See, we met.
and because this helps me remind me exactly who I am. What if I have the good days, the bad days, whatever it may be. And the one thing I do on my page, I don't know if you pay attention, it's called Warrior Fridays. And what I do is I pretty much put either you or many other different fighters out there to show everyone that, you guys are just like us. I mean, except, you find your own battles. I mean, if we can be able to fight every single day, like it's fighting against someone across a cage, then we can be able to achieve it. And the main goal is to be able to get a chance to reach the weekend. That's the one goal that everyone tries to achieve. And if people can be able to just make it through it, then yeah, just have your arm raised and say, "Hey, I made it to the weekend. I made it through the week. I'm very proud of myself." And just think about you as a fighter, training, working hard, with the cardio, when it comes to the mental game, whatever it may be. It's just you guys prepare for whatever may come.
Exactly, exactly. It's all about those like one step at a time.
And I think that's really awesome. I mean, it's always a good chance to talk to someone who's also working so hard to show that it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah, I talk about that in my blog a lot, or about like my shower cries when it just gets to be so overwhelming. But at the end of the day, I'm like really happy that I get to live the life that I do.
And one thing I definitely want to do is I want to encourage anyone who's not in the fighting world, who's maybe afraid, whatever it may be, go to the gym. I mean, think about what Samantha's doing. Think about what all the other fighters are doing, because when they walk into that gym, I mean, it's pretty much been their second home. I mean, because if you feel like you don't have a home, go to your local gym. Go to whatever gym it may be, because they will treat you like family. They will treat you like brothers and sisters, whatever it may be, because it will help you get away from all the problems at home, because it could potentially be your second home.
That's so true. Like, there's so many people at our gym that feel that way. I definitely feel that way. Um, if you find a good gym, there not every gym out there is good, but if you find that good gym, like it truly does become like a second family. And sometimes it's even better because that's your chosen family. You don't always get to choose the family you're born into, but you can choose the one that you grow up and hang around.
Exactly, and all that, but also your home away from home.
Exactly. Well, we own the gym, so I'm there pretty much 24/7. I'm actually there probably almost more than I'm at home.
And that's really incredible. So, and once again, if you guys are wanting to get involved with the community, please do. I mean, it will help you out. I mean, once we take that first punch, all the aggression, all the frustration, aggravation will make you feel better so much, and it can also help you in the long run too.
It's the best. It really is.
Absolutely. And of course, one final thing I want to get a chance to ask you before we get a chance to hop off here is, what is next? What is next? Because I know you got the big tournament that's coming up next weekend. And of course, you have the no gi competition that's going to be coming up here in a few short weeks.
Yep. So I have PANS and I have Toro Cup. I received some PRP treatment in my knees, so I'm seeing like that's supposed to take 6 to 8 weeks to feel the full effects because I just want to get out there and get fighting. I'm still doing my MMA training, just in case like something pops up around the corner, um, because that's just who I am. Like I feel like my most authentic Sam when I'm the person that's training for fights and getting ready for competition. So I had a few goals this year. I stuck to I do. So we talked about like anxiety and all that. I actually do really well when I'm on a schedule. If I deviate from that schedule, I go kind of nuts. So like I have like a cleaning schedule, I have like a cooking schedule and things like that. So I've been in the gym with a certain lifting regimen because I'm small, I'm an atom weight, but I'm trying to like bulk up on muscle. And I'm having a lot of success with it personally. I think I might be biased, but I feel like I'm getting like the strength that I need to get on a smaller frame so that I can like really make an impact. So it's just things like that that I'm trying to follow and stick to so that it doesn't feel, unfamiliar whenever I do get an opportunity.
Exactly, and of course, one thing I can't stress enough is that any promotion needs an atom weight division because you're going to be experiencing some incredible fighters like Samantha is. So yeah, if there's many promotions out there, give the atom weights a shot. They will not disappoint you. They will do
They're so
incredible things.
exciting. They're exciting fighters.
I mean, very exciting fighters to say the least. But yeah, once again, make sure you guys get a chance to follow Samantha at Wolf Queen MMA, and trust me, what I'm telling you is definitely worth it. She's an incredible fighter. She's got an amazing husband, and I mean, what more can you ask for? I mean, especially with what she's trying to do today. Samantha, before I let you get a chance to have the floor for your final comments, I want to say to you, it's definitely been an honor. I'm not worthy of this interview because I've got a chance to see you a couple of times fight in many different promotions, and I gotta tell you, it's definitely been incredible to get a chance to talk to you, and I am so proud of you. Just keep on kicking ass like you're doing.
Thank you so much. I'm glad I was able to take part of this interview. Like you said, anybody follow me on my Instagram, follow my blog, wolfqueenmma.com. And I promise you will see lots of not only just fighting videos and like jujitsu videos, but I post a lot of the food I make too.
Trust me, what I'm telling you, anything she makes will end up getting you hungry. So yeah, make sure you grab something fast. So is there any final comments or final thoughts you want to say?
If anybody is in near the Raleigh, North Carolina area, stop by my gym, Shell Shock BJJ. We love having guests. We love training with everybody.
Well, you heard it here first. Make sure if you guys are in the area, I encourage you guys to go do so. Or even if it's like 2 or maybe 3 hours away, the drive is definitely worth it because of how incredible they are. I mean, they have incredible people, incredible fighters, and they train the best warriors that they possibly can.
Awesome. Exactly. Thank you.
No problem. Well, I'll let you go and let you go enjoy your day. I hope you have an incredible one. I will send you this link after I get done, okay?
Perfect. Thank you. I'm on my way to go train now.
All right, you be careful.
Thank you.
No problem. Later.
Bye.
That was Miss Samantha. She was incredible. I was so glad to get a chance to talk to her. Incredible stuff. And I don't know if y'all can be able to see me because of the lighting, but either way, though, that will do it here, ladies and gentlemen, for our interview. Once again, make sure you guys get a chance to follow her at Wolf Queen MMA. We had a great time. It was incredible. It was also an honor to get a chance to talk to her about many things that she's done in her years of being a fighter. Well, that'll do it here, ladies and gentlemen, for the interviews. We have one more tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We have Miss Carly Ann. So I encourage you guys to make sure to subscribe, click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any interviews that we have in store. And then that'll be it for the rest of the week. But hey, until tomorrow, y'all, I am Jake saying so long, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. But have a great day, have a great night, and enjoy everything that you're doing. So I'll see you guys.